Hey, I'm BNI Brick, and welcome to another edition of the Seller Stream. This week I am going solo so far, hoping for some other sellers to be hopping in. Great South is out with dinner with the familia. Let's see, what should we talk about? Last week we discussed how to update your Bricklink inventory by showing how to both increase and decrease the quantity as well as the price of the brick, and how to figure out what a good price for your brick is a little bit. That's all relative to you. Saying hello to Just Another Brick Life and Bubba Bricks in the chat. How are y'all doing? Let's see. Hoping we could get Brainy Bricks on tonight to do a little discussion about software, just to familiarize yourself with some software you can use to promote your channel on Instagram, YouTube, just what to do to make it look just a little bit more professional. I'm a huge sufferer from that. Let's face it, I'm 1.1 million bricks in, and I still don't even have a logo for my store. So that's pretty bad. So I'm looking for incentive and guidance on how to write myself as well. We also have, let's see, Flash Pants and Ralph DeBrule and Minifig Collector in the chat. How are y'all doing? Ralph is giving us updates on his kidney stone that he is passing. I promised Ralph that I would not tell him any stories of my kidney stones while he's passing his, because you never really want to scare the person passing the kidney stone. Let them find out for themselves just how bad it is. Hello, Daniel Clark and Lego Freak, and thank you guys for actually tuning in and encouraging me to restart the show. You know, it felt good that you guys really actually enjoyed watching the show and learning a little bit more about Lego finances, I guess. So, let's see. Last week, London Bricks had the question, thanks Big B for showing us how to use the brick stock, but users in the UK have an issue because of the translation between dollar and pound, or dollar and euro, dollar and whatever else. We still have to do the changes manually. Yeah, that sucks. My suggestion to him was to gather a group of people in the UK or Europe together and approach the author of the software and say, how do we incentivize this for you to add in the additional functionality for us to choose not just the monetary unit that we want to use, but also for it to import prices based upon that. And there probably have to be some sort of work with synchronizing the settings for both Bricklink and Brickstock. Sure, it can be done. Money always talks, especially when you approach a programmer who may not have gotten a lot of financial input on their work. If you look at programming in the way that they may look at programming, which is to them, sometimes it's a work of art. It's their baby, that type of thing. You want to appeal to their greater sense of pocketbook on that type of thing. Perfectly honest with you, like that's the way to do it. You can't just jump and be like, it doesn't work here. Well, if the programmer is stateside, which is where a majority of Bricklink sellers are, they need to be incentivized to do it for other places. That's all I'm saying. It sucks, and we would have that same issue if, you know, somebody in Europe had come up with it. Actually, no, they probably would have built in the programming to include the U.S. But Aussie Brick Check, what's going on? Bricks for Chris, how are you? El Paso Bricks, what's going on? And Great South Bricks is in the chat. What other question do we have? Oh, how do you decide? You guys should be asking questions in the chat right now as well. How do you decide what to buy off Pick a Brick wall for your store? I'm not getting anything yet off the wall yet, but just wondering. I was looking at it and doing a calculation in my head of how many pieces I thought could fit in a cup versus what their current price was, and if it did meet my my standard as to what the same standard I set for part out value, which is 3x. If I can make that in a cup, and I think that there's room for it and there's a reason why it should be there, I do it. Reasons that it could be there is very obviously, you know, put 100 of them in a bag, post it on to eBay, and see if it sells. If that works, put a bag of 25 on eBay and see if they sell. If that works, put a bag of 10 up there. You know, figure out where your break points are and go from there. And items off the pick-a-brick wall like that are a great way to reap financial reward, or whatever you want to freaking call it. You're never going to get a big financial gain really trying to do 2x4s or anything like that off of the wall, even if you sit there for hours and build them. Then you've got to figure out what your value is. You know, and you never devalutize yourself. You always include your own personal value with what you're doing. Otherwise, there's no basis for when you may need to pull yourself away from the store or put yourself into the store. You've got to be able to have a judge of that, so everything isn't just an immediate like go go go. You gotta prioritize things based upon that. Short answer: little things, tiny pieces. Let's see. Jake asked, I paid for an order on Bricklink 8 days ago, and the seller never shipped it yet. I contacted him, and he read the message, but never responded. You don't actually know that he read the message, because there are some people that have their phones to check that stuff, and it forwards it, and the forwarding service reads it. So you don't always know. And 8 days is a while. I tried contacting the buyer once or twice more. You know, give it 3 times. Be a gentleman about things. You got to remember that for a lot of people, Bricklink is just a hobby. They're just hobby stores doing it. They could offer you a great value, and you just have to go at their speed. That's one of the things you sort of have to deal with some people that are selling on Bricklink. Excuse me. Is that you know, they're just a hobby store, and to them, you know, it's not that great of a deal. So even though it was an $80 order, I still would be a little bit patient. I would also, you know, make sure you read the terms of the store to see what the expectations are. You should always check out feedback beforehand. So let's see. All right, so the user has 5 feedback, and you most likely are their first sale. So they could be trying to figure out the whole thing of how to process the sale as well. And they might not want to admit it because they're embarrassed. Not to blame the victim, and please do not take it as such. But you've got to also, I'm sure there's going to be people that are commenting in the comments as well, that you gotta check feedback first, and you gotta tread lightly into their waters when it comes to zero feedback people, or people who have never made a purchase before on Bricklink. One of the things that Great South and I were discussing last week was you should always be wary of sellers that have never made a purchase on Bricklink. They may not have any idea how Lego should be processed and sent to you, and you may not get what you want. So it's I've taken that jump of faith before, where, you know, zero feedback seller invested a bunch in their store because there was stuff that I wanted or was interested in, and had to deal with a hell ride to come out of it. It sucks, but it's part of it. It's one of the reasons also why people go with stores that are more experienced or have a reputation for shipping fast, or any of that stuff. One of the reasons. So, keep us updated, though. Would like to know what's going to happen on this. More questions would be good. Go right ahead. Thank you. This shirt is from Brick Swag, Brick Builders Club. If you do happen to sign up for it, I believe if you use Big B15, you'll get $15 off a 3-month subscription. Because it usually ships in one day. Check to see if is he in Texas? Is he in Florida? Louisiana? Is he affected by all the hurricanes that are going on? Yeah, that type of stuff. You gotta be wary. It is, 'tis the season of climate change, or whatever we're calling it. Also, Brick Chick says you got to factor in the cost of your time. Yeah, you always do. Always. Whether you are selling on Bricklink, whether you are doing custom minifigures, whether you are doing custom sets, custom mocks, putting jewelry together, any of that stuff, you've always got to value your time in it. Flash Pants says, well, we're on this kind of subject. I know a seller on Instagram that is a scammer that doesn't accept PayPal and then doesn't send the sets out. Well, it's always buyer beware. And if your money is being sent uninsured to the Philippines over the internet, it's kind of your, come on. You gotta figure it out, man. You know, the internet will always be the wild, wild west. And if you're not careful out there and you're too trusting, you know, you're gonna, it's your fault. You trusted. You shouldn't have. See if we have any other questions on here. Not sure if Fubrix is around. Also, Mevitz Bricks over on his channel has started a series for how to use Brickstock as well. So you can check that out. It's true also, check, some people don't use PayPal, but you know, it's kind of like the universal. If you're selling stuff on the internet, it's the one place everybody can go to worldwide that they trust. So it's a necessary evil for the most part, unfortunately. Maybe one day, like Google Wallet will be more widespread, or iPay or any of those other type of things. But iPay is limited to only people who use Apple devices, as far as payment to you, I believe. So. If you could give one piece of advice to someone brand new to, brand new to buying, what would you tell them? Check feedback, you know. And in my case, of course, don't assume that like the 2 or 3 feedbacks that the person got that might be bad set the stage for the person. Sometimes you want to look at the feedback of the people that left it, and if there's different expectations sometimes from new buyers. If I could say one thing to anybody who is brand new to selling, what would it be? That would be, don't do it. Plain and simple, just don't. El Paso Brick says, hey, Big B, I started numbering drawers from 0001 instead of 1. You think it is better way and less confusing? Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Mine are labeled 1, but in BrickLink in the remarks section, it's got the 3 zeros beforehand. Cool Good Bricks is in the chat. He's supposed to be in here. Yeah, but always read terms. I read terms all the time before placing an order. A lot of times it's just people spelling it out, but you got to look for other things. I recently had an interaction with a seller that's been ongoing for a month now. I bought a bunch of stuff from them. 5 of the minifigures were incomplete. They pressed. They charged $9 for first class shipping. They basically were a douchebag. And so I pressed back and held them to the letter of the law. I didn't get any money back. I wasn't pursuing the money on it. I was pursuing the non-shipping seller with a seller shipped a partial order because I could tell from the feedback that this was not the first time. And also contacted other people that had made purchases from said seller and got the same thing with, yeah, I got like half my order and it was incomplete. So I pursued an NSS on it. Don't open a BrickLink store, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do it. Don't do it. Jake wants to know, why do you have a $10 minimum buy? Because I have 2 kids and I enjoy spending time with them as well. If I had no minimum buy, I would be overwhelmed with too many orders to handle. I would not be able to ship out on a daily basis, which is what I do now. I have orders sometimes that are placed at or paid for at 11 a.m. and they're shipped by noon the same day. So I like being able to provide very rapid service to my customers and get them to work quickly and be known for that. Then I guess make more money. Cool Kid says, but my BrickLink store is my alone time. It's calming packing orders. Yeah, used to be my alone time too, and look what it turned into, man. Minimum buy also takes into account your time for packing the order parts. It does, and it also takes account for being able to cover the money that PayPal adds on, being able to cover the money that BrickLink puts on there, being able to cover the envelope, being able to cover this, that, the label. You know, there's set costs for every single order, and then there's fluctuating costs, and you have to set a minimum purchase price where it works for you. I was actually surprised. I made a purchase this week from, was it KC Metro, and they had a $20 minimum buy. I was like, wow, you know, they're not a huge store either. $20 minimum buy, but that, you know, they get a lot of repeat customers and stuff like that because of the service they provide. So it's not just you're not just hoping for a don't take this the wrong way, a wham bam thank you ma'am type of sale. You're looking to build a relationship with your customer and have repeat orders over time. It's one of the things why I have the repeat offender thing, because the more the person comes back, the more they're incentivized with a higher discount. That's supposed to be like some psychologically gratifying way to offer coupons when I read about it. So I probably read too much into it. Let's see. I don't get a lot of orders. I can get more. And there's always a bypass available for anybody on YouTube. So if you want something, just ask, send me a message, and you can use the bypass. or you can just type in iBrick2 grammatically. So. It is a family business. It is a family business. Kids are doing well sorting. Kids are doing very well sorting. Little Big A is having a good time doing it. Just getting the bigger pieces, you know, making it fun, keeping it fun. So. On average, it's about 10 orders a day. But I will not tell you what my average order value is. Cool kid. Cool. Why don't you get in the room, cool kid? Man. Man. Let's see. Saying sometimes his wife watches him pack. That could be other things. What do you think of the extra charges versus adding it to your per piece? That's one of the reasons why I don't round down the shipping value. I allow all of those costs that are associated with every order to basically be thrown into that excess between what the counter cost of shipping is, and that way it stays away from the price of brick. We don't have to up the price of brick or any of that stuff, and keep it that way. And the bigs and the littles sort of just blend together, and it handles it that way. I do not use ink, actually. I did a cost comparison analysis for what it cost for printer ink plus labels plus waste on labels versus getting a thermal printer with labels on a roll. And a thermal printer by far is the cheaper alternative to go with. I got a Dynamo label writer 4XL, which prints out anywhere from 4 to 6 inch labels to little itty bitty labels, but makes it nice. There are some Bricklink sellers out there that are accepting orders for like $1 and such, or even 5 cents. But they charge a flat rate for shipping for orders that are below $5, and they could be, you know, $6 or more for shipping, is what they're discussing in the chat here. And that's basically, it's to cover those set costs. That's one of the reasons why people have store minimums, so they don't have to do stuff like that, because it honestly does piss off the buyer. If I start a Bricklink store, what do I need to do? You need to go to the channel Bricks on the Dollar, watch every single one of his video series out there for how to start up a Bricklink store. Buy a few things. Excuse me. Buy a few things on Bricklink to find out how people package things. Understand slightly how an economy works, and then go from there. The reason why I say knowing what an economy works is because people are starting to notice something I've been talking about for a couple of years, which is that you know, Bricklink's economy is slowly slipping, which is an issue. So, and that's why people who are racing to the bottom, people race to the bottom to make a sale and don't realize that they're killing the economy around them. Let's see. Don't you ship via PayPal? Yes, I do. Ship via PayPal. I have, let's see, 2, 3, four different size first class bubble mailers that I use, and I don't sponsor one store or another for bubble mailers. I just buy them off Amazon, whoever's cheapest at the time. And I normally buy them in bulk because you're going to use it no matter what. Let's see. I need questions to keep going here, folks. Oh. Or give me a topic to talk about. Later on flashbacks. Yeah, Ralph, it is. It's a microeconomy. It's slightly influenced by the macroeconomy, but you'd be surprised how much it is not influenced by the macroeconomy. It's actually an interesting study. Cool, good Ricks. If I can't get you in here, I'm gonna have to shut the show down. Austin Chick is being annoyed by Facebook. Imagine that. How did I get into selling in the first place? All right. So, long time back, we got into Lego, and I realized I have a very obsessive personality as far as collecting and stuff like that. And the world of Lego is far too robust for me to survive with my marriage intact. So, knowing that, I had to find a way to satisfy both my OCD for collecting, along with my love of my wife. And that basically turned into me running a business. I'd never run a business before in my life. I'm an engineer at heart and formerly of profession. And it just clicked. And I just ran with it. My job before I retired was a data scientist, and my job was to basically run analysis on different data points and data streams. And I just was good at figuring out queries and setting up data and analyzing it and trending it and knowing what may or may not happen next, and noticing weak points and strong points in a system and not exploiting them but filling them. Just being a source, I guess. Let's see. Thermal printers, I'm sure they make thermal printers that are wireless. Mine's not, but it just has a USB cable. So it's small, it sits on the desk. It's like a 6-inch by 6-inch footprint. Jake from State Farm. What do you have new coming into your Bricklink store? I just recently purchased, let's see, 370 something CMFs. So Series 16, Series 17, Batman, and Lego Movie. Not from sealed cases, unsure if it's a mix. Don't know what's going on, but I got them cheap. So I took the opportunity / chance to see what's going to happen. I'll probably do a live stream for the opening of the figs. Let's see. Also, I have a small army coming into the store. I took a chance on 100 of the retro spacemen from Series 17. So I wanted to, it's my favorite fig. I really think that over time it'll have growth potential. Got a lot of friends that also are going to want that. So I went for it. El Paso Bricks asks, the dynamo laters are kind of expensive. Where do you get yours for the XML dynamo? I get mine on Instagram or on Amazon. And of course, when you shop on Amazon, make sure you shop through the Smile portion of Amazon. I think it throws like 0.3% in a charity. Not much, but at least you can, fund a little bit towards your kid's PTA while you're buying stuff for the office. So I do that. But I buy them specifically off of Amazon Warehouse. That means that I get them for 30% or more off because it comes in a box that's trashed. There might be a razor blade slit through one of the rolls that takes out 20 labels. A couple of labels could have been used from the roll. The one thing that I do make sure, though, is that the labels that I get have the little hole in it. And if you've got a dynamo printer, you know what I'm talking about, the little hole there. If you get the ones that don't have the little hole there, it has the chance to just run. And I tried to get the super cheapies once and only made it halfway through the box before it just started going crazy. The reason why I get them off of the warehouse section also is because if you can get them so much cheaper, and that's where my price point is on that. Jake mentioned something about NFL players and taking a knee. He does not feel that is right because he has members of the military that served, or members of the family that served in the military. That's fine. That's dandy. You have your right to your opinion and your First Amendment rights. But I also served in the military, and I fought for their right to do what the hell they want because that's their First Amendment right. And I'm a big believer in First Amendment rights. I'm not taking a political stance on this. I'm just saying that as a former member of the active duty military for the United States of America, I fought for your right to do whatever the fuck you want. Sorry. ABC, check you out later. Sorry about that for people that were not knowing this is an adult show. And ABC, I want to get a hold of you later on. I saw what she was doing. ABC, if you don't know, Alsberg Chick is down in Australia. She's not only an awesome Lego city builder, but she also does some custom Lego jewelry. And at some point, I'd like to get my daughter's ear pierced, not too early. She does not need earrings at a super young age, but I'd like to get her some Lego oriented jewelry besides the 30-year-old or maybe 20-year-old Clickett stuff that I picked up for her, because that's little. You don't know where other kids do this stuff. Hello to Pumpkin Bricks in the chat, and Great South Bricks gave me a preach. So sorry, that wasn't meant as like a political statement either. Sorry. Questions, comments, commentary are appreciated right now as we talk to our sponsor of the stream, Mountain Dew. Let's see. Oh, the previous question about the Bricklink wall was from a Vikings Plunder. Like I said, in future weeks, we are planning on hoping to get Foo Bricks and Brainy Bricks in, and possibly Novik Bricks to talk about their stuff. I'd like to get Clutch on from Bricks and the Dollar. It'd be really good to talk to him about his experiences with opening up a storefront and how he made the transition with his warehouse space to decide what to do with that. Oh, here we go. Here's something we can talk about. Being prepared as a store owner for when stuff goes down. So earlier this week, I installed some virus protection software on my computer, and I had to reboot it. Well, I have a very old laptop, about 8 years old. The battery on it, the internal battery no longer functions. I was only using an external battery, the one that clips to the bottom of the HPs, which cuts off a lot of the fan circulation. So over time, that external battery constantly expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting. It's cracked. You've got to hold the thing on there and press down on it while you're trying to connect it together to make a connection between the external battery and the laptop. But when you pick it up, it stops making that connection. And you've got about 3 milliseconds to get it from forward here to there, slammed into the docking station. For about 2.5 hours, I proceeded to do that and failed miserably and almost had to cancel the stream. One thing I immediately did was I went over and I closed my Brick Owl store because I knew that my Brick Sync software was not working. So that's one of the downfalls of hosting your own service on a really crappy, questionable laptop. Is what are you going to do? You know, you've got to almost always be there to make sure that laptop is running. So what I did is I went out and bought a $180 laptop that actually has Windows 10 on it. Doesn't have a touchscreen, nothing fancy like that. But having Windows on it would allow me to run both Brickstock and BrickSync on it. So it seemed like a wise choice for putting on the cart and strapping it to the cart so that I can take that around with orders for me instead of having to use this old Galaxy Tab. And I will discuss with people how that works out. And then I picked up a $450 laptop for my wife as a backup laptop for just in case it happens again. Because I mean, I had actually contacted Great South about canceling this week's stream because I didn't think I was going to be able to do it because of said laptop. Luckily, still working. But what do you guys do if all of a sudden your computer goes dead? I mean, does everybody have a backup plan? Do you just close your store? You just hope for the best? So I was kind of SOL for a little while. M&M Bricks asks, in Brickstock, what is the best way to upload parts to your inventory? Meaning easiest way to see what parts combine and what new parts will be there, all while staying in Brickstock import inventory. All right. Actually, there is a way. A store is too big to run it off from a phone, for me at least. There's no way for me to print labels for orders just by using my phone. I could go and process it, but I'd be back to doing old-fashioned labels. And that takes a long time. I didn't want to do that. So yes, there is actually a way to do that. Let's see if I can find it real quick. All right. Give it a great sharing of the screenage. And you should have Brickstock. Almighty Brickstock says, let's say that I had this right here all set and ready to go. And I had another tab open right here that had my complete inventory in it. What I would do is go to Edit, copy prices from document. And this is before I had any prices or anything in here. This is just a part out set. Everything under price is blank. Edit, copy remarks from document. And that would copy the remarks from your inventory that you had imported through Brickstock and put them into here. But that screws around with my setting for uploading, which is to concatenate old and new remarks, which I use as a telltale sign for when I am putting an item in a drawer that I shouldn't be. In other words, when I'm creating a duplicate drawer for an existing lot. What I would do was go to copy prices from document, and then that would only fill in the prices for which elements you currently had in your inventory. You would then be able to go in and, while holding down the control key, select on all of the fields that did not have prices, go to status, and set them to whatever mine in this case is extra. And so I changed those to extra by right-clicking, going to status, and now going to include to change them back. But X, or the plus. Plus shows me this is new to my store uploading, and I need to make sure I fill in the remarks field before I hit Control E, Control U. So hopefully that answered a question. Did it? I actually don't upload like that. I don't import my inventory and do it that way. I just highlight everything, Control E, Control U, and whichever ones doesn't show that they're consolidating into another lot, I then mark as an extra. Let's see. Pumpkin Brick says, I'm going into my dark age, and I've been listing a lot of used plates on Bricklink. Do you sell a lot of used plates? If so, what sells best? For used stuff, man, just if you're trying, I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't know what you want to get out of it. I don't want to give you bad advice because I know you're a T-fault. You may come back to it later on in life. The big plates sell. Little plates don't. You know, 6x12 minimum. That's what at least I look at for plate sizes. 6x12 minimum. Occasionally a 6x10 if it's in a rare color, but not in a common. Eminem, the only easier way is to remember to go into and import your own inventory and do it that way. It's a way to do it to be able to still function when Bricklink is offline for 10 minutes a day, to still be able to do stuff. It's not a bad way to be able to doing it, but you have to always remember to go back in and update the prices after you import it. So it's just a couple extra clicks, in my opinion. I actually think that the way that you and I do it may possibly be the fastest way. And Pumpkin asks, what about studs? No, studs don't sell, man. Studs don't sell unless there's some mass quantity and it's in some color that people want. White, light bluish gray, dark bluish gray, tan, brown, or I should say reddish brown. And metallic silver, not flat silver, metallic silver. All right, got 15 minutes left. Need more questions. Yeah, be aware of scams. Scams are everywhere. I think I got to my 5,000th sale. Yeah, I think I got like my turquoise brick. I just didn't say anything because somebody else the same day got a lesser brick. and I didn't want to make them feel bad, and I'd forgotten about it by the next day. Let's see, what else do I have new coming to my Bricklink store? Right now I'm working on the yellow Spectrum from part out of 79 of last year's brick boxes. I've been doing a little bit of last minute rounding up of the two elements that are unique to the Sentinels. The boys been showing a lot of interest in wanting to put those together. So I've just thrown a file together, and we're going to go and count out the pieces and see how many we have, seeing how many we can build. I got 2 orders coming in from that I got to do for videos going out to Brick Stackers and KC Metro. Let's see. I mentioned I've got 100 of the retro spacemen coming in. Got a bunch of the this is some of the stupid stuff I do. Like I got 100 something of the red balloon bottoms coming in for people that might want to do it mocks. So I need to stop doing stuff like that and partaking or trying to get involved with those things. And then I've got 36,000 pieces in route. Including a possibly Holiday Bones Bricks alt head, if he signs off on it. And some stickers to one of the worst Lego sets ever produced, which is set number 10192. That series is just awful. This set specifically is just absolutely terrible. 10192. For some reason, I like these stickers in there. So, that is what's new and coming to the store. It's not the number of parts in the order, man. It's the number of lots. Number of lots. That's the kicker. So great. We're gonna have Great South also. He's gonna be back next week, of course. But he just changed his store to a $1 lot limit instead of having a minimum order. And he's going to talk about why he did that and the changes to his store. I've been considering doing it on Bricklink as well. That's my standard over on Brick Owl because of how orders go with the differences between Bricklink and Brick Owl. But I might give it a try. Might give it a try. Hopefully, Great South hits that repeat customer that started out really shaggy and turned into a splendid customer for you. I did not buy them for the 108 lots. That means that it's at least $108, right, man? So that's a good sale. That's a good sale. Pumpkin saying penny a stud. I might go less than that on a used stud, man. It all depends upon how quickly you are trying to rid yourself of Lego. But Pumpkin, I sincerely hope that you decide to keep like your top 10 favorite sets and a crazy amount of minifigures, man. Just hold on to them. You don't need to throw away that part of your life. In 10 years, you're going to want to come back and look at them again, and they're going to be all gone, and you're going to be pissed off because you like bought, candies and Playboys with them or something. So. See if I have any other unanswered questions. Please ask some more. Oh, I recently started getting was it Clutch's Secret Stash, and I really like it. He's going to make changes to it. He's adding more stuff to it, and I'm really glad that he's doing this. Some people thought I gave him a really harsh review, and I just believe in giving honest reviews. I talked with Clutch about it. It's a solid monthly service. It just could be so much more, and that's what I'd love to see it be, is so much more. So looking forward to my next month's version. I'm just looking around here to see what the hell's going on. I still got the Catarrh to put away. The pink tubs right here is what you see. This is what I do in the extra large cart outs, so the very large sets or large quantity. I'm usually doing those. Otherwise, it's all in the sorting trays. Love those sorting trays. Let's see. Good to see Pumpkin's going to hold on to his old stuff. All right, folks, if there are no more questions out there, and I've got no more questions over here, I'm going to have to call it. It's been a long day, been a long week, long weekend. A lot of this stuff has gone into the store. I am going to be trying to do a vlog for tomorrow. I know that's supposed to be a weekly thing, but it's probably going to be a monthly thing. We'll discuss it in the vlog, about the vlog, during the vlog, on the vlog. All right. I'm going to be a Rick. Hopefully next week I'll have people in here with me, because it's really boring without it. Thanks for joining. See you next week.